I haven't live streamed from YouTube in so long. Who knows if it's even working? If someone can head off to Mr. Love Music and see if Mr. Love Music is now streaming from this room. It is. It's working. Live stream from YouTube. Head off to Mr. Love Music. It's working. Music is now streaming from this room. Hey, mute yourself. Yeah, it's cool. Got it. Mute. Cool. We're live. Hello, collective world. Hello. Music team wave, you're online on the Tinternet. So there you go. Hello. Hopefully you're all doing well. Lovely music, lovely singers of the collective universe. We are, 1 second. We're going to wait a few minutes just so we've got enough people online watching us. There's currently 9 people watching us online, and hopefully a few more will do. But this is obviously going to be reviewable. So if you're not watching this live, we still are waving at you hours later. Definitely, that's what we're doing. We're just at our homes, just waving constantly. We've just been having a bit of a debrief, a little bit of a chat about Collective Live, about all the positives and the things of what would have made it even better. Hello, Sue Priestley. Sue Priestley gets the award for first person to use the chat on YouTube. So feel free, other people, to pop things on. Hello, Helly, and hello, Ruthie, as well. I'm not going to say hello to everyone because otherwise I'll be saying hello to you on the chat more than actually saying anything of particular use. But we've been having a meeting for the last hour or so, chatting about Collective Live. We've all been going through kind of sharing some of our kind of memories, some of the things that we really enjoyed from the weekend. Lots of them obviously involved you lovely singers and all the amazing stuff, both online and in person, that happened with Collective Live. And I'm going to kind of slightly, we've already heard some of these things from the music team, but I'm going to kind of invite any of our music team just to kind of reflect to you lovely people at home, because we're going to let you, attendees, singers online, singers in person, we're going to have a social kind of coffee and chat kind of debrief session with you that won't be live streamed for you. And the time of this has not been sorted yet, but it will be within the next few days for you to have a chat, for you to turn up in a Zoom room, and for all of us to kind of share our kind of stories and our thoughts of how things went and all those kind of things that we maybe weren't there for, that you can share us some of those, again, some of the great memories we've been sharing, those little things, is those kind of little things and those just little touches that just made it something special. So you're going to get your own coffee and chat session on Zoom, but I thought it would just be nice for you to have a chat too with our music team, just hear what their thoughts were, because they obviously did so much work. And obviously this is not everyone's in the room, not everyone could make it. And obviously a big thanks to all our music team, not just the ones in the room, but obviously they made it what it was, folks. They obviously had their yellow, I've still got my yellow t-shirt on, I'm at work. Some other people have got their green t-shirts on. Some of them haven't even come properly dressed in any kind of t-shirts. I mean, I think they're all fired at that point. So not really, darlings, you're not really fired. So they obviously made the whole of Collective Live what it was. All the work that they did, the kind of 3, 4, 5, 6, in some cases 6 days of solid work that they were doing before and after the event to make it as good as it was. So I'm going to we're going to do hands up if any of our lovely music team would like to say anything, any kind of reflections to our lovely attendees. Form an orderly queue, and we'll start with Susan Campbell. Susan Campbell, what have you got to say for yourself?
I would like to say to the singers out there who attended, who are watching right now, that for me, this was one of the best experiences of my life. And meeting you all in person after knowing you for 2.5 years on Zoom was absolutely amazing. And it was the moments that we shared other than singing, just talking and being together. That was just, you all, we love you. Yeah, we love you all. It was amazing. Thank you for coming.
Well, someone's got to follow that. Julia Sweeney, follow that.
I just loved it from start to finish. I'm emotionally wrung out by the experience that anybody saw me on Saturday night. I lost it completely and fell completely off the cliff. You all destroyed me. But I just absolutely loved it. Thank you very much. And when singers say how much they get from it, please don't ever forget that we get just as much, if not more, from all of you. It's amazing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's very much a reciprocal energy thing. So all the kind of positivity that Singers Say music team give them, music team, not in a parasitic way, feed off your energy, but yeah, we feel it as well, and it keeps us going on those difficult days, knowing that you're really appreciative of what everyone's doing, and that you understand, you out there, you are online or in person, you understand what Collective is about, you understand what makes us tick, and you know how we're just a nice bunch of people, generally speaking, although I have my moments. And who is next? Oh, Debbie Claire Neath has a hand up.
Well, I think the music team have sort of alluded a little bit towards what I'm about to say. I've not been able to tell anybody about it because I haven't been able to put it into words. I got back to work and they were all, how did it go? And I was like, yeah, fine. And they must have thought it hadn't gone very well because I couldn't say how it had gone. And there's been a little bit of feeling of that on the chat when we've all said, oh, I don't know what to say. I can't put it into words. It was just so fantastic and so overwhelming that for people, I don't even want to be in the same room as anybody who wasn't there because I can't be bothered to talk to them. It's really awful thing to say, but because they can't possibly grasp it, there's no way they'll understand it. And that I've gone, and somebody's just posted in the chat on here, I think it was Sav, are you all right, Debbie? I've never seen you so quiet, because I can't find any way to express just how unbelievable it was. Unbelievable from every single person, from the minute Donna got off that train to the minute I stuck her back at East Midlands. To me, that's when it started and finished for me, when the first person arrived. It was like in another world, wasn't it? And then we've gone back to reality, and I can't explain it to anybody. Even Del was, my best friend. How was it? And I just went, yeah, it was good, because I couldn't get the enormity of it over. So I just thought that was an interesting thing, because I can normally talk for England, but the people at work were gobsmacked that I wasn't screaming and I just went and sat in the corner at my desk and played the CD all day, because it was the only way I could stay connected, and I just didn't want to talk to anybody. So I just thought that was an interesting observation, that's all. And I've all filled up again, so I'm going to go back on to music.
That's okay. I'll come to the other hands in a second, but just off the back of that, it was interesting. There was two people, and there was other people, but there was two people who came on Sunday. Obviously, I directed Tuxedo Junction for 4 years, and two of the gentlemen from Tuxedo Junction, Tim Birtwistle and Glenn Panther, who've been with Collective for a long time, still with Tuxedo Junction. They were actually at Babs Harmony College with Tuxedo Junction. The chorus of Tuxedo Junction went to do kind of chorus coaching for the weekend, and they came on Sunday to the Big Sing, which was one of the reasons why we wanted to have that kind of event there, so that people who couldn't come for the whole weekend still had something specific to come and be part of. And I think what was heartening is how long they stayed, and how much, even in a short period of time, how welcome they felt and how much they got it, if you know what I mean, because they went with their chorus to Babs Harmony College, and then they came to Collective Live, and they got what the whole weekend was about. They just got the sense of it just was difficult to explain, difficult to quantify why it was as good as it was, because outwardly it would have been like anything, I suppose, like a stamp collecting convention. If you're not in it, you don't understand why everyone gets so excited about it, and to explain, you end up just sounding like you're a little bit insane. It's like, no, but you don't understand, and they're like, no, I really don't. But yeah, I completely know what Debbie means. Melanie, and then Paula, and then Judy Datina.
It's just like Debbie says, it felt like being in a bubble, and it was like it lasted for weeks, and at the same time 1 second or something. It's really weird. It was like, it's only 4 days. It felt like a long time, and looking back, it felt like it was just 1 day or something. So that was weird, and you can't explain to anyone else. everybody who was there knows what it felt like, but they can't explain. But what I really liked about seeing all the posts of everybody, singers going to London together, going to all different kinds of places together, seeing a play, and looking out for each other, all these things, I think that makes collective different, because everybody's so kind to each other. That was really nice to notice when we were there, I think. Yeah.
Completely and totally agree. Paula, my love, you're next.
I have two things to say to all these lovely singers who attended online and in person. There were two moments that will be kept in my heart forever. One of them is when the music team got up on the stage and sang "You Raise Me Up." We sang that to all the singers who were there, either at home or in person, because you raise us up to be more than we can be. It's a two-way street, and it was very, very meaningful. And we had never, as a music team, sung it together before that moment. So just let me tell you how emotional that was from us, giving that to you. And then when we sang "What Can I Say" as a thank you to Simon, and then everybody who was there stood up and joined in. So there was a whoosh from the audience, there was a whoosh from the stage, and we sang that together, and it was just so uplifting, and that will stay in my heart for a long time. So thank you to all the singers. Thank you.
Wow, nicely done, Paula. Yeah, that must have been amazing to be in the middle of that. First, I want to say thanks to all of the singers who joined us on the Zoom. When Susan and I first were talking before all this happened, it's like, we're going to be on Zoom like a lot of hours. What if nobody comes? You know, that was that possible. And so we were really happy to have so many people there all the time. In fact, there was a moment there on Saturday morning after you all showed my warm-up video. Robin said, okay, go rest a while and then come back. I didn't want to. I just didn't want to. Yeah, I was up really, really early and exhausted, but I couldn't be there, but I still didn't want to miss a thing. And then thank you, Simon, and everyone else who had anything to do with all the little things that were done to help us feel like we were there. Like being, you know, having our pictures occasionally up behind you when you were all singing. That was really cool. And then a surprising thing happened to me that I just wanted to share. And that was, I sang, of course, with you on the show, as if I were right there with you on the show. And then when the whole thing was over and we shut the Zoom room, I had this feeling of this euphoria that I often feel like at the end of a big band concert or the end of a big chorus performance or something, and you just want to go out and celebrate because you've done something really special. And I never left my living room. So that just goes to show that it worked. It worked. You brought us all together in it, and thank you.
Julie Lee. Thank you so much, Julie.
Yeah, mine was actually more or less the same thing that Judy has just said, but I just thought it was really phenomenal how everybody that wasn't there in person was involved, and the "You Raise Me Up" with the solos and the warm-ups when that was just so seamlessly put on the screen, and there was no hiccup, nothing had been rehearsed, and it just went like perfectly. And I just thought it was really lovely to see all the people at home online being able to be part of it as well. I just thought it was really lovely. They leave no one behind. Exactly. It was just fantastic. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Aviva.
It's actually kind of more of the same thing that Judy and Julia just said, but just to say to everyone out there how amazing it was to turn around from the stage and wave to the online room and know that you could see us, because we were thinking about you all day long and just wanting you to be with us and wanting to be on the Zoom room with you. And it just really felt like you were there. So thank you for those of you online who came. and put in the time and participated, instead of just saying, well, I can't be there in person, so I guess I won't. It's not worth it. It was so worth it. And I know you had a wonderful time in the room, but it meant so much to us who were in person to know that you were there. So it definitely went both ways for that. So thank you. And it was just such a joy to turn around and see your smiling faces. It made us very emotional too. So, mwah!
Thank you so much, Aviva. Mike Sav.
I just want to say to all the people who may be looking at this and listening, the welcome that all the music team members got from the singers was extremely special. We've never met most of you before. We've never met each other, but that's another thing. let alone the rest of you. and you walk in, and you're just walking past someone. They just grab you. Hello, it's great to see you. Great to meet you. Take a photo. The whole thing's absolutely awesome, And we all met each other in these boxes. It's surreal is the word. Absolutely surreal. And somehow, souls got touched last week. For real. That's damn huge. Just wanted to say that.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Mike. Donna and then Karen Penketh.
Yeah, just following on there from Sav about meeting people, and this is not got anything to do with the singing or anything like that, but all of the music team who were involved in meeting and greeting the singers from I don't know, when did we start? Wednesday morning or Tuesday, whatever day it was, and we were clocking up the steps, meeting the singers and taking them to the hotels, and then going back to meet some more singers. And there were quite a lot of us involved in this over the course of the few days. And I know that sort of we were saying, oh, we're there, we're going to meet you, and it was just absolutely brilliant. It was brilliant to see the looks on people's faces as they walked through, and there was somebody there to meet them and just take them to the hotel. And I actually thought beforehand, oh, I'm never going to cope with this. I'm going to be in floods of tears. It's just going to be a big snot fest, and and I'm going to be wiping my eyes all the time. And there was none of that, because it was just pure excitement. We were just so excited to be meeting each other and everybody, whether it was music team or whether it was singers or everybody who we met at the stations and the bus station. It was just brilliant. And so there were no tears. It was just massive excitement all around. And doing that was just a big highlight for me, as well as, obviously the singing was, but doing that and being involved in it, I was so glad that I was able to come over a few days early and run around like a silly devil. Thank you.
Yeah, I think on that, it was interesting that beforehand, a lot of people's worries coming here, and we kind of say that we want to do what we can when we can and leave no one behind. And I think that almost became, for a lot of music team, a slight obsession. The idea that even though I think one of my friends was like, why do you need to meet people from the station? It's like, it's a 1 minute walk from the station to their hotel. They've got a video walk. They've got a walking map. They've got Google Maps. Why do you need to do that? Why? And again, you don't. It's not if you're not in it, you don't understand why that is appreciated. Even that 1 minute walk and that 5 minutes to spend with someone to say hello and just to wander across, and the fact that some of the people were met at the station and then 10 minutes later they were the person meeting someone else from the station before they'd even taken their bags to the hotel. They were like, okay, I've been met by someone and now I'm going to turn around and hello, welcome to Leicester, as if they had any clue where they were going as well. But no, it was fab to kind of get that really big, exciting buzz throughout. Karen Penketh next, and then Susan Talbot.
Thank you. Driving home on the Monday, I had a couple of people in the car with me, and I think I said this. If I didn't say it out loud, then I might have thought it. But I was trying to think of the best part of the weekend. What was my favourite bit? And I've come to the conclusion that actually the entire weekend was my favourite bit. There was not one bit that stood out as being above anything else. It was all just so brilliant and so wonderful. And not much of an outgoing person. I'd much rather be an ant, a worker, and hide behind my sister when she's doing education sessions. But I made myself go outside. This is quite big for me. I made myself go outside and hug people as they were in the road coming into the theatre. And I did it. I talked myself into doing it by saying it will help when people come through the doors. They won't have empty people wanting to hug them or them wanting to hug people. So it will help. It will help the flow of people. But it was a big step for me, and I was greeted by, Debs Linzer and I can't remember who else. There's loads of people. It was just amazing. It was just so amazing, and I want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart, MT and singers, for the best experience ever. Thank you.
Susan Talbot, my love. Susan Talbot.
Well, being online at one point, my family came in the room, and this goes back to just nobody really understanding what happened this weekend and being at a loss for words. But we have a 3.5-year-old granddaughter. Her name is Lila, and some of you have met her through the years, and now she's started school today, but that's another reason to cry joyful tears, preschool. But at one point she climbed up on my lap, even though I had headphones on, and she knew I was busy and I was kind of not, I was trying to have her parents come and get her, but she was looking at the screen and she said, "Who lives in that box? Who lives in that box? What's their name? Who lives?" And I was introducing her to everyone on the screen. And, so it really was amazing. So thank you for living in your boxes. And those of you that got out of your boxes, thanks for including us.
Sorry, Nicola.
Thank you. I just wanted to say a massive thank you for everyone for their enthusiasm from the very first moment that we opened the doors to the very last, whoever was still standing at whatever hotel bar. Everyone just seemed to, no matter how tired they possibly were, everyone just kind of gave it their all, be that music team leading a session when they probably didn't have enough sleep, to singers joining in with enthusiastic warm-ups, not looking at anybody doing an over enthusiastic warm-up at 10:30 on a Sunday morning. But everybody just seemed to really get involved with it, and people who joined us for the big sing as well, who didn't know maybe what we were all about, if they had never been part of this before, just joined in and took part in it brilliantly. It was so wonderful to meet people in sectionals who I'd spent a lot of time with on a Zoom room, and some I hadn't before. It was so exciting to play the game of, "Oh, aren't you tall? Oh, I expected you to be taller," mentally, even if I didn't say it out loud, because sometimes it felt like I was being a bit rude. So I had those internal conversations. I think I may be the strange one. I didn't cry all weekend. I just found myself smiling all the time, just like to myself, internally, to people. And it was just so lovely. Like everything was positive. From singing, even lugging risers around the theatre to make sure you could all stand on stage, to tidying away and saying bye to everybody. It still felt such a positive, happy experience, and one that I think everybody, whether you were sitting at home with a very sore bum from sitting on Zoom for hours or being there in person, will hold dear in their hearts for a very long time.
Agreed. Zilka.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I really loved to be on singer support on the very first day when everyone came in, and I was the one to say the first hello and to get all the hugs, like the first hugs, and everyone knew me. I'm so bad with names, so I didn't know every single name, so I had to ask for the names, and that was so amazing. And I mean, I really felt so showered from all the hugs and all the love that the members came with, and yeah, that was really very, very, very special. And I was so thankful for being on singer support for that time.
Whew. A few things from me. Firstly, there's a few thank yous, and again, it's stuff that actually in music team have mentioned, and a few people in the YouTube chat have mentioned as well. First thing is just how great the venue was. The venue and the venue staff. I think we've all said just before we went live with you, could not say enough positive things about the venue. I mean, the staff, they were just absolutely fabulous. They could not have done more. And again, I think, as I mentioned during the weekend, they're volunteers, so they run that venue for the love of it, for the love of the arts, and to do that, and it was absolutely perfect. And they were just fabulous. The next thing is the small bearded one. Again, big thanks to Nick on the streaming, which was very it was pretty much flawless for the entire weekend. Which, from a technical point of view, anyone who's ever dealt with tech, usually it breaks at least 3 or 4 times a minute. Sometimes, any time I try to share my screen on Zoom, my entire computer closes down. So I definitely knew that it could not be me that ran all the online streaming. So the fact that that worked so well and meant that those singers could be in that Zoom room watching that stream and knowing that all these things would just then appear as if by magic on screen, and that then other singers could watch that back after the fact. You've got chapters, by the way, in the live stream video, so you can skip to the bit you want to watch. So me and Nick have been doing that over the last few days to make sure you get all the various bits, so you can just click on that education session and you can watch it straight from there without having to scroll through 9 hours beforehand. The only other thing from me was just there was that music team again, and obviously music team aren't going to thank themselves because they're not like that. But I know that you singers would want to mention just how great all the music team were. All those different t-shirt changes, all those different colors that they wore, all those different hours that they spent doing all the different things that they were doing, and the fact that all of it was done with such good grace, all of it was done with such kind of teamwork and such camaraderie, and just the fact that everyone was just there to do what they could. And again, I mentioned earlier on in this meeting, it was like all the mantras, all those kind of like everyone did what they could. I know, and everyone was kind, and everyone took every question seriously, and it wasn't met with anything other than kind of empathy and care. Even if a member of music team had asked that question multiple times, it was never a silly question. And again, it really felt that everyone just gave their best. And that's all we can ever ask, really. So I don't know whether or not I enjoyed it or not. And that's an honest thing. I think I got to the end of it and I think I enjoyed it. But I have to say that I was a little bit nervous and worried about everything going wrong. So I never got that buzz of excitement beforehand. I got kind of like the nerves of, oh dear, if anything goes wrong, kind of in some way, shape or form, it's definitely going to be my fault. And that was a definite fear that you'd let you down, and I'd let you down. And the fact that everything went smoothly, and the fact that music team pegged any holes and plugged every gap and left no one behind, and everybody, both online and in person, was just as happy as could be and just really enjoyed the weekend. I think it's proud moment time, isn't it? It's like proudest moment ever time, because how can you better something like that? I don't think you can. So yeah, it was rather amazing, I think, really. Now, the other thing we've been talking about, because actually our reflections took 56 minutes of our 1 hour meeting. This is music team, by the way. It took us 56 minutes to reflect, and I'd planned in the meeting for about 20 minutes of reflection, so I could spend more of an elongated time going through, and drum roll please, future plans. There's 52 people watching for future plans. Who knew? I even did myself a special a Zoom background. It's not the end, my friends. No, you can't get rid of us, because if we didn't do this, what the bloody hell else will we do with our lives, eh? Well, possibly many things, but they wouldn't be as fun. So we are in the very early stages of chatting about what next. I'm not going to give too much away because it's really early days. One of the things that we definitely are saying is that we don't want Collective Live to be the only time we meet in person. However, we're probably looking not in a year's time, probably more like 2 years' time, to give people time to save and plan and all the other things. Everything is very draft, but we're certainly not saying in 2 months' time you've all got to kind of come to Leicester again, because apologies, Debbie, because we know that probably isn't. It was probably a big job in the first place, but we also know that online streaming works. We know we've learned a lot from this Collective Live. We've learned a lot. We've already chatted in the music team about things that we could easily do to make stuff even better, and even smoother and even better for people who can't be there in person. But we have kind of mapped out initially an idea of the next 2 years of things that we'd like to do. So we definitely like to do something educational for you all, kind of a collective college style thing at some point. We definitely want to do things like Christmas songs. We definitely want to mark our anniversaries in some way, shape or form. So both our 3-year anniversary and our 4-year anniversary, and then look potentially in summer 2024 about whether we can actually get together in person again, knowing what we know, knowing how amazing it's been, and seeing if we can get more people there, make it, I don't mean better, but just make it as impactful and amazing an experience, but while still never forgetting any of those mantras, never forgetting that leave no one behind, never forgetting that we know that not everybody will be able to join us. Even if we gave you 10 years, it just isn't possible for everyone to be able to do that, but we're not leaving anyone behind in doing those things. So everything we're still looking at is all about inclusion. It's all about making sure you can all take part in whatever way you can, and that it's something you can fit in within your day-to-day lives, that you can fit in those things, as well as singing your local chorus, as well as singing in your local choir, as well as going to barbershop conventions, as well as doing all those amazing things that you love doing, that collectively we want is to be something that you can have as well as, not instead of, because obviously some of you are in the lucky position of being back in your singing, your competition singing and your choirs and all those other things. But at the same point, Collective Live felt like a family. It is a family. Collective Live just got to us just how much it really is a musical family, and how much it's not just again, it's not a new tagline, but it's not just a choir. It's not just a choir who sings virtual songs and submits recordings and then the watches of it. It's not about that, because that's just not what it is. It never has been. But I think all of you get it. The music team in the room certainly get it. So there is more to come. We definitely are still having a bit of a break. So all I can tell you at the moment is that probably that there'll be other stuff. There's obviously going to be a coffee and chat and a social session for you to chat about your memories of live, for you to kind of share all your little memories with us. That might be a long one. Maybe it'll be longer than an hour. Maybe we'll give you longer than an hour to do that. But we'll be looking for something for Christmas to make sure we do some Christmas songs this year. And there'll be more information about that once we've had a break, and once we've managed to get together with the team, do a little bit of chatting, a little bit of planning. We'll give you all that information as we have it. And yeah, music team, is there anything else that anybody else would like to say, would like to reflect upon before we wish all these lovely people online a good night, a good evening, a good morning, a good afternoon, a good whatever?
Arthur's in the waiting room.
I've just let him in. Actually, just before we do finish, I think I've let Arthur in. I think I've let him in. Is he in yet? He's in. Where is he?
He's connecting.
Oh, he's connecting. Everybody, we're just waiting for Arthur to connect. Because if he connects and then you instantly finish the live stream, he might take it personally. We won't be having, there won't be much of a break. And I told the music team, I started looking and planning on Monday. Actually, I started thinking and planning of things before I'd even unpacked the boxes of speakers and sound equipment from live, whilst my risers were still out on the street. So I've got things all the wrong way around. I didn't even tidy before I started thinking, oh, it went well. Let's do more things. Hooray. We have an Arthur Moan in the building. Everybody can wave to Arthur Moan. Hello, Arthur Moan, you beautiful man. But yeah, so a massive thanks to kind of everyone. The work that went on behind the scenes is, you'll never see how much there was. The amount of stuff that got worked on, the amount of conversations and messenger threads that were out there with music team was a little bit staggering. Just how many things got sorted, just how much stuff there was. And there's still stuff that we're doing. I will be posting out, it hasn't been done yet, but all those online t-shirt orders will be posted out Monday. I'm going to get myself to the post office. So they'll be posted out and they'll be all out to you. Not sure how long it takes at the moment to get t-shirts out there, but they will be posted out to you all. So we do have your orders and we will be posting those out relatively soon. So there's still some work being done that off the back end of live, still a few things here and there, but yeah, the theatre really enjoyed it. They also said that if we did want to do anything in the future, they would love to have us again, because they could not believe how clean we all were, which is the most surprising thing that they said, which was how clean we were, and that when they went to the toilets, there was barely anything on the floor. I'm not sure what musical theatre types are like, what would be on the floor, but they were like, wow, your singers are so clean, which isn't anything. Maybe it's a new mantra. Be kind, be clean. There you go. Debbie, you've got your hand up, my love.
They wouldn't say they were clean if they'd smelled any of them yellow T-shirts on Sunday night. That's all I'm saying.
Possibly correct. I was quite glad I had 3 T-shirts. I could just go through them. That's one of the reasons I didn't wear the correct colour at times, because once I smelled a couple, I was like, I don't want to wear that colour today. I'm going to just be blue today, not yellow. Thank you very much. So yeah, folks, it's been an absolutely amazing year of all those different big projects that we said we were going to do. It is amazing to see those CDs arriving with you and to see those photographs of people getting their CDs. Please keep on sending those pictures in. You do not know how much joy it gives us seeing your face next to your CD, and that to know that you're going to be able to pop that in your CD player and play those songs and kind of think of us all. And yeah, the projects that we did over the last year ago, we said we'd do them, and we've made an absolute massive success of all 3. We got a great CD. We had a great education event in Collective College, and my days, we had an incredible time at Collective Live. So it's not the end, but for the moment, we will wish you good night, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good noon, whatever it is for you. Thank you to all the music team here who've been here now for quite a while, shall we say, 2 hours. So that's quite short for a music team meeting. So they've been here for 2 hours, but thank you so much, my darlings. We'll see you soon. I'm going to go offline now, and we will definitely see you soon. And all our love to you, and keep an eye on the members page. Information coming soon, and it'll be emailed out as well. Mwah! Doot-de-doot to everyone.